Okay, in the last video you got the outline of the project. You saw that we purchased a frame. Now it's time to get to work. Before we get to fitting, grinding, and welding, we have to look at the plans for the frame. Let's check those out now. I think this is it.
Okay, wrong plan. Okay, so here's the frame. So this section here is almost exactly 8 feet. Here will be 5 feet. And then we have, I believe it's in the middle, we have one support bar. Then we have our tongue here. And this, the full tongue, it goes right through the whole body of the trailer, which will give strength if we have to tow from the rear. You're pulling through the whole trailer into the tow vehicle and not pulling the frame apart. This section here is about 31 inches, which will give me, and that's without the coupler on it, so that will give enough room for the Jeep to turn 90 degrees and not hit the trailer, or should. That's the plan there. So this is what we have. This is what Dave at Performance Welding did for us. This is 2-inch steel tubing. I'll put the wall thickness up on the screen. And now what we need to do is, on the floor we're going to use ACM, which is a 3mm plastic aluminum composite. So with that, these sections here, which are about 4 feet by 2.5 feet, are obviously too big of a span for that material. So in this, what we're going to do is weld in supports. Now, I think it's Adventure 4-wheel drive is who I took kind of the inspiration of for this frame. Now in his, he put in supports here, and in that you can see some flexing on the floor when he was kneeling on it. Now he said with his insulation down, the flooring and the mattress, you don't feel it. I want to go with a little more just to be safe. I have a habit of overdoing things, which can be it's good and bad. Bad when you're worried about weight. So my plan is to actually double up these supports. And then also planned on doing at least one through here. Actually, just go through and do it. And I believe it was 1 or 2. I started looking at that, and that was serious overkill. So I changed my mind on that one. And there's also another change I'm making. So the box of the trailer is going to actually be, so here's the frame. So here's the frame. The box is actually going to be shaped like this here. So this here is going to be 1 foot, and the same here, 1 foot. And it's a 8-foot box. So it's an 8-foot box, 4 feet high. Because the cabin sits off the frame 1 foot, it only needs to be 7 feet long. So what we decide to do, I decided to have him build it like that anyway. And the reason being is I want a tongue box. I want a tongue box on the front. So we go, want a tongue box on here, and I want that to house the battery. So tongue box on the passenger side, probably be the longer side. I basically want a camp fridge here, and in that I want to have the camp fridge, and that'd be on slides, so that can come out here. And then on this side I want to put the batteries, and then the charge controller and the inverter and all that inside. Now, I don't want that to stick out too far out here. I want it away from the Jeep, and I also want to leave room if I want to put maybe a propane tank or something. I just want room on the front. So where I have that extra foot, we're going to weld in 2-inch steel, 2-inch square tubing right along here to give us our 7 feet. This extra foot here will be a part of the tongue box, and I believe that's going to be at least 2 feet, so that will come out to about here. So this here is the square 2-inch square tubing, this here as well. So these here, these supports will be 1-inch square tubing, and that will help support the floor. I decided against doing the extra supports inside. It looks like that'll be fine, and it would give me plenty of strength. So these gaps will be 10 to 11 inches and 27 inches this way. I think it'll be fine. On the floor, we're going to put a lot of insulation. Then we're going to put the flooring, and then we'll have the mattress on there. The mattress is going to take up most of the floor anyway, but this should make it more than strong enough. So let's get to building.
Okay, so we're back on the project. Now, 2 weeks ago, I ordered my steel, went and picked it up. Couldn't work on this trailer that day because we had no power. Power went back on late at night. Anyway, today I'm going to try to do a little work, try to get things measured up and get things ready so that on the next chance I get, I'll start tacking things up. Also, ordered my axle. I'll talk about that later on. But for now, let's get right into this. So I'll show you the steel I have right now.
ended up getting a little heavy-handed with the grinder there. So I just started looking for other sections to see if it would fit just a little bit better in another location. And I did find a spot, so that's where it would get used instead of tossing it across the garage.
Yeah, let's put it back there. right, it's another day. So we're ready to do some more work on the trailer. My friend got on me about not having a mask with the vapors. Just did some tacks, but it does get smoky in here really quick. So I went and, hang on a sec. So I went out and bought a mask yesterday, and see here, hopefully that's focused. Bought the 3M multi-purpose quick release with the P100 filters with the OVAG. So it got the activated carbon to remove those vapors. But my concern is it's the big cartridges. I'm concerned it's not going to fit my shield, and I'm looking at it right now. It is narrow, so I don't know if it would fit. So I also bought the pancake filters to hopefully get something to work in my mask and then go from there. I'd love to have the positive air filtration, the cool masks that use a belt-mounted filter and blow cool air over your face and keep everything else out. But they're expensive. I've seen some for $1,500, $3,000. Saw one for about $900 some dollars. I don't know if that came with the air system, but yeah. So this was $118. We'll go with that. And maybe later on, if I go to build another one, these videos do well, then maybe I can purchase one then. Love that. So anyway, let's get right back to work. I want to get some work done today. Okay, actually, before we get started, let's try on the mask because I got to use it anyway because I want to do some grinding to clean up the metal before I start tacking in the 2-inch square tubing, which is going to be the base for my front wall where my 1-inch walls will go on. So let's see here. So let's just try the mask itself will be fine, but I think the filters are going to be the big issue. All right, so how does that, there we go. Now, so it's a quick release here, so it dropped down. Now, yes, I do know that you're supposed to be clean shaven. I don't know if I said this before, but I've been trained as a firefighter, had my mask tests many times, and so I know that. I'm going to try it without, and if things are getting in, then I'm going to trim it. Honestly, don't want to shave it, but I also want to protect my health. So, but right now, if I put this on, cover the vents, that's fitting tight. So I think this is going to work. Now the problem is going to be the large canister filters. So let me get my shield here. Squaredrop maximum filter or shield. Yeah, see those big canisters are going to hit. I know they are. Instead of playing a guessing game, let's find out for sure. I really like to not open them if they're not going to fit, but still going to use them, so try one here. Let's see. I knew that. Let me see. So I'll have many uses for those, but in that shield will not be one of them. I didn't know there's 2 sets here. So these are still P100 filters. I just believe with these are their 2091s. they don't have the activated carbon. But we're definitely going to be better off than we were without them. So
that'll work. That'll work. All right. Let's do some grinding, and then we'll
start welding. Let's go.
Well, I saddled up my shoes, headed out at dawn. Yeah, I saddled up my shoes, headed out at dawn. Ain't no place gonna hold me when the road keeps rolling on. Woo. Yeah. Left my baby crying, said she can't live that way. Left my baby crying, said she can't live that way. Told her love ain't chained down, it just comes and drifts away. Saw the sun in the distance look like a burning coin. Saw the sun in the distance look like a burning coin. Lord, I don't need no preacher, just that dust road to join. Now I'm rolling through the valley, wind hums through my hair. Yeah,